Hello. Welcome to Boss of the Knock version 4.0 at Conf 20. We're super excited to have you guys here. If you're not aware, this is actually V3 of the V4, meaning that we have run this globally across the world. So we're excited to have you here in the America's Boss of the Knock event. And we're going to tell you over the next 20 to 25 minutes in partnership with my friends Kirk Hanson and Jenna Eagle, what you're going to expect. The first thing that you need to know, my friends, is that Boss of the Knock is about more than just your knock. We really have put together a variety of use cases for you, just like you'll see in real life. And we're going to talk about that at great length here in the next 20 or so minutes. The second thing that you need to know is that I may, during the course of this presentation, make some forward-looking statements. Possibly, I'm the first person to show you this slide here at our user conference this year, but it will certainly not be the last time that you see that. We're going to have a whole bunch of presentations for you, and I can promise you that every single one of them will have this slide. So I hope you have it all memorized already. If not, you'll have the chance to do so. Before we jump into all of the details of the event today, I just want to give you a quick overview of what you can expect here at Boss of the Knock and the event that we're about to present for you. So we're going to spend, like I said, about the next half an hour going through what you can expect, where you need to go, how all the links that you need to get, and where you should expect to spend your time. Then we're going to start out at about 29 minutes from now. We're going to give you access to all of the gaming environments that we have set up for you. And we're just going to set you loose on the data. And you're going to have some fun, make some friendships in the teams that you maybe have or have not already put up. There's going to be a great time for you to just really work through the data. So this is not going to be me standing here and talking in front of you for 4.5 hours. It's going to be you experiencing the data. At 3:30 Pacific time, we're actually going to wrap up. We'll do a very quick wrap up with the regional winners, where you'll be able to see how you did today compared to all of the folks that have joined in and have decided to participate with you today. But then tomorrow morning in our super sessions, you'll be able to see the global winners. So we will wrap up and we will give you the announcement for individual, the America specific regional Boss of the Knock, but this is a global event and we're going to announce those winners a little bit later. So no pressure. We'll get you there. For those of you who maybe haven't joined us before for Boss of the Knock, I want to talk a little bit about what this thing is. What is the event all about? The first foremost thing is that it is fun. So we have put together a lot of interesting things for you to go through and explore data in Splunk and SignalFX and other different technologies that we have to offer for you. But we want you to have a lot of fun. So if you're not doing that, take a step back, hit us up in Discord. We're going to make sure that you can find a way to have fun. The second thing is that this is very realistic. The data sets that we've presented to you are all based on, loosely based on a true story. So everything that you're going to see out there is either a artifact of what maybe we have done as customers. I was personally a customer before I joined Splunk, or our customer stories. So you're going to learn different unique, different ways to explore data within Splunk. It is a training experience event. So you're going to hopefully walk away at the end of today with some new knowledge that you probably didn't have before. And last but not least, it is a competition. So we like to foster a little bit of friendly competition here. As you are aware, if you've come from events in the past, there are certainly the competitive aspect to it where we're going to ask people to challenge themselves, answer questions for points, and at the end of the day, the team with the most points wins. But even though it is a competitive thing, we made sure that there's something for everybody in these events. So we have stuff from the iRacing scenario or the virtual race to conf. If you saw any of the lead up events to conf, you're actually going to get a chance to play with that data. We have some financial data. We have some data that reflects in ITSI. We have some things that show up in Phantom. We have all sorts of different ways for you to play around with that data. And the goal of that is to make sure that whether you're a brand new Splunk newbie who hasn't had a chance to utilize Splunk before, we want to make sure that you have a great experience doing that, all the way up to the person who spends 10, 12, 14 hours a day using Splunk and really wants to challenge themselves and find those really hard questions. You're probably not going to beat some of our Splunk gurus who have written really hard questions. But there's definitely questions for everyone who is, all of the skill set level all the way in between. So don't be afraid. Jump in and have fun. With that, we're going to talk a little bit about how the game has changed. The first notable thing is that we actually have redeveloped our scoring system, and that is the central point of the event today. So Kirk's going to go through a little bit about how that scoring system, as well as the environment that we've created for you, is going to work.
Thanks, John. So just like last year, if you were with us, we created a company. It's called TMI, and it doesn't stand what you might think it stands for. It stands for Total Managed Infrastructure Services. And we created this really just to make sure that when we gave you episodes to get through, you had some context with which to get through them. TMI is a managed service provider, and they have several customers. One is Lender, a mortgage lending company. A Zip Drive is a scooter rental company. AMI is All Muscle Incorporated. This is a new logo for TMI this year. StreamR is a streaming media company or streaming gaming company as well. And TMI, of course, has its own infrastructure. If you saw the video, there is a credits video that talks about this in your scoring server, which I'll get to the nav on a little bit in a little bit. But in there, it does talk about how TMI has doubled in size in the last year. And that is the reason that there's new logos here. Again, these are really just companies that we've identified or created to help guide you on your troubleshooting experience and to get you through these episodes, maybe with a little bit more ease and a little bit more context. Let's meet some of the folks that work for TMI because it is relevant to the story. Ace is the expert. His weapon of choice is Splunk. If there's something wrong in the TMI infrastructure stack, Ace is the first guy you might call. He's the guy that knows everything about it. He's also, of course, as I said, his weapon of choice is Splunk. Someone new to the team this year is Maverick. He's a newer employee. He is Ace's protege, and he's super influential resource on the team. Really, you can think of Maverick as Ace's front line to Ace being more of the second line. This year, there is another new face at TMI, and that's Tanya Williams. She was brought in to replace Dallas. She's more of a visionary when it comes to observability. And as a former Splunk customer, she knows the value of what Splunk can provide and really just wants to make sure that her team is set up for success. Now let's move over to the scoring server. This year, we've really taken it up a notch, as John said. And what we mean by that in this particular context is we've created a whole new scoring server from the ground up. And the driving force for this was we wanted to be able to take away some of the manual work on the back end that you may have experienced in the past with regards to, say, transferring or switching arounds on teams, manipulating and changing teams, and so on. And so we've created a lot more self-service function inside of this scoring server. Once you dive into the scoring server, you have a list of episodes that you're faced with, all right? And so these episodes, you will actually see some episodes generate, and Jenna's going to talk more about that. But just realize that this may not be the final list of episodes. Once you dive through it, you're able to create your own team. You're able to join a team. If you are looking for a team, and I've seen some folks in there already, there is a channel called Single Mingle. If you can head on over to that channel in Discord, that's where you can look for a team. And what we'll do is, as coaches and resources for you, we'll try to help pair you with folks that need a fourth or are looking for other resources to join their team. There is also a game resources channel that you can find in Discord to get you a little bit more help around this. Once I step into the episode itself, I'm faced just with a little bit more detail. I got the Discord channel name up top that points you right to where you need to be. And that maps over to Discord nicely. I've got question status. I've got total number of questions, correct, incorrect, and so on, so that you can help divide and conquer the episode. Now is where we get to the new feature that I think is really what the most important part of this scoring server gives us, and that is the resources section. That's this section where we have 2 lines pointing to it for good reason. In there, you're going to find your logins that are relevant to this episode. You're also going to find some helpful videos that we've crafted, again, to set the stage, what company is impacted that TMI supports, who's involved, and maybe even some hints or tips as to where to start and what you're looking for. Diving further down into MK01, for example, I'm also able to see the question, a little bit more detail. There's also a new field that if you've been around the BOTN scene is new, and that's answer guidance. There's multiple answers to this question. Just answer one of them. That's a very simple, but in some cases, what we've really tried to do is almost give you a free hint for these. And effectively, that's just a function we never had before, and we feel like this is really going to help you get through the question and get through it quicker. That's also why you might see some questions this year with just no hints at all. But we didn't avoid hints or we didn't get rid of them. You still see right down in the middle of the page, we've got the ability to purchase those hints. And this always comes up, so I'll say it. We are not charging you money for these. It's not going to cost you real money. So please purchase those hints. We're pretty proud of the way we've crafted those. Some of them are fairly obvious just to point you in the right direction or a nudge. Some are very revealing. I think I said it, but I'll say it again, that resources are very important. We need you to look at this because we really, with this virtual nature of the event this year especially, we really wanted to craft a gaming experience that led you to where to start, how to get there, and then essentially get you off to the races and start investigating. And that's what the resources tab does for you, the resources section. And I'll just highlight it one last time. Make sure you're headed to the resources section. It can and often does answer a lot of your questions. Now, the gaming server orientation, again, much like the past, right? Nothing's really changed here except some content. The best place to go if you're looking for a place to start is an app called TMI. Inside of there are managed company apps. You can get to the StreamR, Lender, or the virtual race to Conf. But we didn't forget data to everything platform for sure. And so what you're seeing here is just the different data sources of information, areas that you're going to need to delve into to solve the riddles that are episodes. We even actually went a little bit further and got you the ability to use Phantom as well. And with that, I'm going to pass this over to Jenna and hand her the mic.
All right. Thank you, Kirk. So this is my favorite part, and so I'm so glad to be able to talk about this, but we have a group of super smart and super dedicated teammates who created real data that you see in real life. And along with this, we have real-time data in the gaming environments, which means there will be real-time outages. So along with all of our historical data that we have in Splunk, we will be generating data throughout the game. And just like in real life, we will interrupt you when something breaks. And then we'll announce this in the Discord channel for our announcements. There will also be a video resource to go along with this in the scoring server. So where Kirk was showing resources, that is where the links will be as an introduction to these lightning rounds. And so the real-time outages, we do call them lightning rounds, and they'll be depicted in the scoring server on each of the episode cards. More episode cards will show up, and they will have these blue lightning bolts on them so that you can identify them. And I'll blast the Discord channel with a bunch of lightning bolts and tell you to head on over there. These are open for a limited amount of time, so the points are a little bit higher as well. So you definitely want to go check that out. And the first one that we have is a little bit into game time, and it's probably just around the time you are settling in and starting to get your flow. And then we're going to come mess that all up and interrupt you with that real-time outage. So sorry in advance. And now our scoring algorithm. So how do you get points? How are you going to win? So our base points are based on difficulty. So the tougher the question, the higher the points. And then you also get bonus points for speed. And then in order to mitigate any brute force attempts at getting the correct answer, we have implemented penalties for wrong answers. But again, use your resources and remember to purchase your hints. Like Kirk said, this is not real money. It's not going to break the bank. Just buy the hints. And so what if you need help beyond all of that other stuff that we have gotten you? Well, we aren't in that big room this year in Vegas where you can just raise your hand and jump up and grab a coach. So along with the answer guidance, the resources, and the hints, we are in Discord with you. All of us are there. This is the QR code. If you haven't gone there already, go ahead and scan this, and we'll leave this up for a second for everyone to get there. Scan this, enter the channel. Once you're in the channel, you have to agree to the rules and terms. And so it's on the very welcome page. I'm seeing some people come in now, so hopefully this is working for you. But on the welcome channel, you'll see a list of all of this stuff, and then you have to put in the actual message bar $agree, and then enter, and then the rest of the scoring server is going to open up for you. So along with that welcome section, you're going to have an orientation channel along with game resources. So if you need another look at the scoring server to get a better idea of where you should be going or any videos to watch, you can go there. There's also some blogs to get you started. And then below that, we have our BOTN announcements channel. And that's where I'm going to be blasting everyone when it's time for the lightning rounds. So you won't miss a thing. And then that's probably also where our teammates have blasted this Twitch live stream. So we'll post all of that stuff in the announcements channel. Below that, we have our episodes. So our episode section, each channel in that corresponds to an episode card in the scoring server. So the very beginning of the title in the scoring server, like Kirk showed you, the hashtag episode, and then an abbreviation, that's what you're going to see in Discord. So if you have a question specific to that episode, go to that channel in Discord and ask it. We have a lot of coaches manning all of those channels to make sure that you get help. And then below that, we have, again, the general chat, general questions. We have that single mingle channel. I see that people are already starting to join other teams, so love to see it. And then shout out to our DJ Nick, who is in the music channel. You can go ahead and click on that to connect, and we'll be playing some jams just like if we were in Vegas. And whenever you're ready to disconnect, we won't offend Nick. You can just hit the disconnect button there. And so that is Discord. If you do have questions or you weren't able to get in, just send us an email and we'll get you all set up. All right. So this concept of Easter eggs, we have this every year. And just a reminder, these are hidden gems throughout the game. And you need to find them, and they are worth a lot of points. These can break first, second, third place and really get you in the runnings. So Easter eggs have their own episode card in the scoring server. And remember all of those resource channels and the credits and all of those places that we've told you to look. This will benefit you if you actually take a look at these things we're providing you. So keep that in mind, and maybe even dedicate someone on your team to start go checking some of that stuff out. Get you on the scoreboard real quick. And so when you are answering questions, it's always best to keep it simple. So instead of it being this super long thing or weird formatting, it's likely the most simple thing there is. And then we also have that answer guidance for you this year. So you don't have to purchase a hint in order to know what format this should be in. Just check the answer guidance. If you're still unsure, hit up a coach in the appropriate Discord channel. And rules. So I'm known as the enforcer here, so got to go through the rules. So first, go easy on your expensive searches. So likely something isn't going to be all time. If it is all time, then the episode will tell you to search that, or a coach will have you expand it. But like I said, most everything is happening like it would be in real life. So real time outages, and then maybe something historical yesterday or something that you have to check into. Also, don't be evil. Don't do anything out of spite. None of that. We don't want to have to deal with that. So let's have fun. Third, administrator decisions are final, but we are very nice about those final decisions, so don't worry. And fourth, don't change your time zone. A lot of the questions are going to be time-based, so just don't change it. And then fifth, there's no team hopping. So we have that single mingle channel for everyone to go in and figure out your teammates now. Once time starts in 10 minutes, there's no team hopping. So go make that happen now in the single mingle channel.
Awesome. Thanks, Jenna. So just to kind of elaborate on that a little bit, we wanted to talk about how we did create this data set. It's super realistic. It should look like you would expect to see it in your day-to-day lives at your normal workplaces when you're using Splunk. However, there are possibly some things that don't necessarily look realistic. So suspend your disbelief, allow us a little bit of slack on this, and imagine that you are just in the movie theater and you want to enjoy the show, and don't try to tell us that, hey, we noticed this one thing or the other thing. You're welcome to tell us that. We're going to say, yep, we created a fictitious data set. So we're gonna go with that from there. Last but not least, guys, we're all here for probably some prizes or some swag, right? So if you remember last year, or maybe if you don't, we presented all of you with these gorgeous Conf 20 or Conf 19 trophies at that time. We are putting those together as we speak. We're going to make that sure that they are all individually addressed to the regional and global winners this year. So I don't have a picture to show you right now because they don't exist yet, but they will very soon with your name on them, hopefully. So we do have prizes. We do have patches available, which is the last thing that I want to talk about. If you are not currently registered for .conf, the registration system for Boss of the Knock and Conf are separate things. I'll say that again. They are separate registrations, and you must be registered for both to qualify for the patches, to qualify for the winners trophies, to qualify for any of the really cool stuff that we have available. Really, guys, our management loves this program, and they love the ability for us to present this for you today, but we do have to appease them in some way, and this is one way that we can do that. So if you have not registered for .conf, please go ahead and do so. We would greatly appreciate it, and that will get you the information that you need to get the patches and everything else that we know that you love out of these programs. With that, it is actually going to be go time here in about 6.5 minutes. So what I'd like to do is, I heard Jenna's computer just absolutely blowing up as soon as we had that QR code up. So Kirk, if we could go back to that QR code slide, make sure that everybody has access to that for a little bit. We'll leave that up for the next 5 or so minutes. And we're going to be ready to go. So the game will actually open up here in 6.5 minutes, and you guys will have access to everything you need. Again, if you need a coach or you need a little bit of guidance on where to start, anything like that, Discord is the place you want to be. All right. Thank you very much.